Live here.
Live!
But we don't have to necessarily know what that means.
What's the someday of blank?
I don't
there's
know
a
that we
reason
want
this
to-
story happens now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the movie writes itself. Ooh.
I'm still streaming. How do I stop streaming? No! Yo!
Hello. Welcome.
Happy Tuesday,
Happy
November
Tuesday.
29th, in the year of our Lord, 2022.
I don't know who's Lord, but yes.
Probably not my Lord.
Not my Lord, that's for sure. In the year that humanity has designated 2022.
2022 of the Common Era.
The common era that, yes, human beings decided for some odd reason. Here we are. Welcome to Ben and Jake Write a Movie.
Hello.
I'm Ben.
I'm Jake Holmes too, Game of Shadows.
This is episode 40.
What? We should celebrate. We should have. Why didn't we have party poppers?
I know, right? Episode 50.
Just use the sparkler. Drink with the sparkler in it.
We've got to do something for episode 50. I don't know what that's going to be. You know, they started this fun thing. I don't really know if it's fun, but they've got like background music on this app that we use. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, do you hear that?
Nice.
We could actually like
talk
over like the background music.
Oh,
Then we
smooth.
could like write to like.
Not great writing music. I prefer something more cinematic, but sure.
Well, there is. Wait, there's a
Go.
cinematic. Hold on.
Interesting. Okay.
Don't know how this is cinematic, but
No,
it does.
Cinematic. Oh, that's
hold
gaming.
Yeah, acoustics. I'm not sure. Anyway,
Enough of that nonsense.
enough of that nonsense. So here we are, episode 40. We are about to be in December very, very soon.
We are. I mean, day after tomorrow, right?
After tomorrow, crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, let's get the conversation going.
What are we going to talk about today, Ben? What are we going to talk about?
What are we going to talk about? My goodness. That's a really good question. I'm kind of like out of like industry kind of thought ideas. I mean, I think, something that keeps coming back, and we've probably talked about this a million times. In fact, we may have even talked about it in episode 1, but this idea of writing your spec and not waiting for the job to come around.
I hear it. Yeah, well, it's the aspect of open writing assignments, isn't it? We found out yesterday that we did not get an open writing assignment that we went up for at Disney Plus, and shame. And we go, okay, but we worked out this morning, didn't we? We were trying to work out how long this year we have spent chasing open writing assignments. Now, to be clear, if you aren't familiar with what the concept of an open writing assignment is, that's fine. An open writing assignment is basically a writing job.
Yeah.
For example, Disney Plus, this particular case, had acquired the rights to a book and wanted to make it into something, whether a movie or a TV show, any kind of property, or it could be a rewrite of a script that they already have that they need work done on. Those are real writing assignments when there is a paycheck at the end. Then there's the kind of other writing assignment, which is it's a speculative writing assignment. We producer have got rights to a video game or whatever, but we haven't actually officially set this up at a studio.
Yeah, and those can be legit as well, but they're definitely more of a gamble.
Yes.
And I know we definitely, now that I remember, we've definitely talked on this subject
we talked
in terms of open writing assignments themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were saying we were calculating even just like minimum of like 3 months of work time this year.
Absolutely, this year.
Minimum. Kind of working on other people's IP. And other people's things. And it's an interesting kind of dilemma, I think, when you get to a certain point in your career where people are sending you IP or they're sending you scripts, or they're saying, hey, we have an idea, we're looking for a writer. And, there's always this kind of sense of wanting to be in that elite small group of like people that studios have on their list to go to, right?
I mean, as we said in previous episode, we were sent a DC property earlier on this year, and it was like, great, what a great opportunity to play in a DC universe.
Yeah,
fun and exciting, and it was an exciting few weeks.
It was, and yet at the same time, I feel like our odds were always really, really low. And that one had other things going on with it.
It did, yeah.
To go into, but I feel like we definitely have come to the decision, at least for right now, that writing specs is really the way to spend your time.
Yeah,
I mean, those 3 months,
or pitching original ideas.
Yeah. In those 3 months, based on previous experience, we would have had a script written.
Very comfortably.
Very comfortably. So, but at the same time, speccing has no guarantees at all. Yeah. Even less so, because there's not even a buyer at the end of the tunnel. So it's one of those real difficult choices that writers have to make.
It is.
Our manager always said, especially earlier in our career, he would say, always have one spec that you're working on, one pitch that you're preparing that's original, and one TV thing that you're working on, and one open writing assignment that you're using.
Yeah.
Those 4 things all at the same time.
Yeah.
And I do think it's good advice. The problem is, and it's easy for a rep to say that, but it's difficult in practice to keep all of those things kind of rolling at the same time.
Totally. Yeah.
And I feel like we've been successful at it at sometimes and not as much at others. And maybe this leads into an interesting conversation that I wasn't expecting, but it really is about juggling projects. Because
that's really good.
It goes. And it's funny because I just posted a poll on Reddit, if you're on Reddit, screenwriting Reddit, about how many projects do people have juggling, because we were going through, and this came out of the open writing assignment thing. We were going through going, man, like we've got
I'll open up that note.
12 projects.
It's a lot of things at various
all different stages
of development.
All different stages. And I think the hardest part about juggling projects, well, there's 2 really hard parts, right? One of the hard parts is creatively. How do you jump from world to world? How do you jump from characters to characters? How do you keep the flow going when you're stopping? I mean, this spec has been a really interesting experiment because we literally are doing this for 1 hour. Yeah, and then we go off and write our other stuff.
That's right. We do. I mean, I know that if it's getting too much, if I am getting story ideas mixed up with other things, or calling characters from one movie in another movie, I kind of feel like if I'm getting that space, I'm like, oh no, that's something completely different. And also, what I found when we do that too is we're just basically kind of writing similar themes in different.
Well, I feel like that has to do with I feel like writers in general probably live. It's kind of influenced with where you are in your life, the types of stories that you're just drawn to telling, out of.
I think that's valid, and also it can be we're in that groove right now.
Totally. But I wonder, what is the answer to? How many projects should you be working on at the same time? Now, we know writers who have way more than we do, way more. And I always look at that and go, how the hell do you keep track of it all? Yeah. And then the answer always is, we don't know.
I don't. Right? Derek has got a lot of stuff on his plate.
Yeah. So, but, if you went by the rule or the rule of thumb that our manager suggests, I feel like when we've tried that in the past, there's a certain level of urgency and different kind of things going on with each individual project. So if you have a writing assignment that you're chasing, you have to put together this take in a certain amount of time because you most likely have a meeting, or that someone else is going out for it as well, and you have to kind of chase that, right? So that ends up kind of becoming a time suck. And even when you say, well, we're only going to spend this much time on that today because we're still going to work on this, Then you go to, okay, we're writing a spec and putting together a pitch and doing a TV thing.
And when you get given a property, a project, an OWA, and it's like, well, when do they want to hear takes on this?
Right.
And it might be in the next few weeks. And you go, okay, well, now I have to.
In the next few days.
Sometimes it's the next few days. It's,
Yeah.
can you come up with a pitch by the end of next week? You know, right. It's like, okay, I guess so. And then you have to put things down inevitably. And also, and we've done this a lot in the past, when there's work that needs doing, we make the time to do it. We say to our families, hey, got to work nights for the next week. Right. And we will add a session into our writing day. That can be exceptionally tiring. I don't always feel that the best work comes out of that, but sometimes you've got to do it. I mean, we know a writer, a very successful writer, who I recently found out, who's been working on a very big sequel to a very big movie, doesn't sleep. He sleeps for 1 or 2 hours a night.
Wow.
And I go, what? And he's just like, but I get it done in 3 weeks. Wow. And it's like, but how
do you do that?
Yeah. And how do you do good work? But this guy does. He does great work.
I mean, everybody really does work in different ways. It's part of the whole podcast, right? Is about process.
Yeah.
Some people can work at 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't. I'm exhausted at the end of the day, you know? Yeah. And I feel like at a certain point, your creative energy is out. Matthew Sand had a really interesting thing that he was talking about in his interview about how he does, what did he say? Like
2 to
3 hours, 2 hour sessions.
He does 4 2-hour sessions.
Right. And always breaks in between. Yeah.
So, if there's breaks in between, let's say there's an hour break in between each session.
Right. Did he say 4? I thought he said
11 hours.
4 or 3? I think he does 3 2 hours.
Ignore me. It's about pages, isn't it? He does
3 pages in. He does 3.
I can watch
I don't know. We'll go watch. Go back and watch the Matthew Sand.
Yeah, it's excellent. But whatever it was.
He has his own process of how to kind of keep those juices flowing.
Yeah.
I find, at least for us, that 2 is probably the most that we can focus on at one time. I feel like we do pretty good separating our mornings and our afternoons and going, we can work on this project in the morning and this project in the afternoon. And your wife is commenting away.
Yes, I'm just seeing that right now. Hi, honey.
And that basically, like, if we're gonna do, like, we've done, hey, let's work on the pitch in the morning and we'll work on our spec in the afternoon, or hey, we'll work on our spec in the morning and our take for this thing in the afternoon. Right. I don't think we've ever actually. I mean, there are days where we've touched 4 to 5 projects at the same time.
Absolutely,
but not like really dug into those things all in one day.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I do think juggling isn't about juggling all in one day, is it? It's about juggling
over a period.
So, like, we have a TV thing going that we've been juggling with our stuff for over a year.
Yeah.
It's finally going to go out to the town next year. We know that. So this is crazy. This is Hollywood. It's like, yes, it's only November, but we can't take anything out until February. So we know that. So it's like, that's our TV thing.
Yeah.
We just kind of like put that in a box over here.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's that.
And that's actually interesting, isn't it? Because in one sense, it almost frees up the mental space. I go, okay, we're not really going to add another TV project, most likely, until we get an answer to whether or not.
Unless it's an open writing assignment.
And so it reminds me
it would fill that box.
Right.
You know? Yeah. And we have done recently we've gone out for 3 or 4 open writing assignments in the last 3 months. Yeah. And unfortunately we didn't get any of them. And that's the way that it goes.
That's the way that it goes. For a multitude of reasons. I
mean, and I think that I mean, we're at a place, I think we were talking about this before, where like we're kind of like taking that thing out of the equation.
Yeah, I think so for the moment.
And yet what we have, interestingly, is so we have one TV thing. we are writing this spec.
Yeah.
This wonderful spec that we're writing for everyone.
Yeah.
But we are additionally going to be writing another spec outside of the public sphere.
We spent the morning outlining
that one.
Yeah.
We don't have a pitch that we're working on right
now.
Well,
again, it's kind of what's going on with the market at the moment.
Well, but we've heard it's changed again.
And we're hearing that it's changing again. So I think for the last 1.5 to 2 years, there had been we don't want to buy development, because a pitch invariably is some form of development. It just is, because there's no script. There's going to be a development process on something. And it was part of the kind of content.
We got to wait. They have to wait 3 months to get the first draft, and then they've got to wait however many months it's going to be,
Yeah. But it was, this aspect of, there was always this thing of like, well, specs are selling right now. Because people don't want to buy development. They want to do one draft on the current script, and then they want to go into production because they want to get this going. And they're only buying things that were packaged all together, script, sometimes with directors and producers, actors, whatever, already attached and going. However, recently, yes, you're right, that has started to change. I think also fundamentally, though, for us, I'm just really enjoying writing at the moment.
Yeah. But I look at also, like, it's funny, and I think that this is the kind of the career side of it, which is having all these different irons in the fire, right? Yes. Like, if you look at us, between Winter's Night and The Princess, our entire career was based off of pitches and open writing assignments.
Right.
That's which basically are pitches. I mean, open writing assignments.
Pitches.
Put together a take, which is a pitch in and of itself. It's not an original, but that's basically what we sold for like 6 years.
Yeah.
And then there was The Princess, and then you're right. There was a moment where our reps all said, "Nobody's buying pitches. You should really start. You should just focus on specs." And I don't know. I feel like it's like half and half of going, well, are we losing out on a part of our career that we had a lot of success in for a long time because we aren't focused on, like, we're not doing the thing that thing that our manager was like always be doing.
Well, then maybe in the new year, it's time for us to think about taking it out.
But anyway, as we talk about this in front of everybody, I think that again, bring this all back to this kind of career conversation about juggling projects.
Yes.
Having things that are in different types of areas and stages of development, I think is good, because there are places that do want to buy pitches. We met with a mini studio recently who said, we don't like to buy finished packages. We like to buy things early on because we want to be part of the development process.
Right. Yeah.
We are hearing right now on a spec that's out at town that needs some development, that they don't want to buy development. They want a ready to go project.
That's right.
But that also has other things going on.
Yeah, I know.
Depending on the package and depending on what you've got going out and who you're going to, like, that may have been different if it was a different type of idea. Totally. And so I think that, like, for a long time, we didn't have our spec going and we were only focused on pitches and writing assignments. And then we finally said, fuck this, we're going to make sure that we write a spec. And then we sold The Princess. I feel like now we've been really focused on spec writing and open writing assignments. And we've been ignoring the pitch side. And I think what's interesting about juggling is that thing that our manager has told us, Josh Adler, who for all these years, which is you should have at least one of each going.
Yes, absolutely. Time. So we'll do that in the new year.
We'll do that. We'll do pitching.
At the same time,
we'll talk about pitching. Maybe we'll do
that. Yeah, I think it's a really good topic.
Yeah,
multiple. We probably talk about that over multiple sessions.
Oh, easily.
Let's jump back into our as yet still untitled screenplay.
I know, the untitled Lustig and Thornton Demon screenplay.
And Demon Terminator.
Yeah.
So we had a discussion yesterday, just kind of getting back into the flow of it once more. We talked a little bit about Hank, this supporting character, who kind of semi-lead. He's a
Yes.
one of our term. He's going to be. This is absolutely a well-known actor role. You recognize him?
He absolutely is one of the. He's a poster. He's on the poster.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Sense.
My young son's trying to tell me something. I may need to pause for a moment. I apologize. Live pausing. So look, why don't you open up the document?
Sure.
Open up the document, and I will keep my ear out for my son, who may need my assistance in just one moment. I'm just going to open my door here.
There's really interesting things about working from home. I'm sure many people who work from home right now understand that when you have kids.
Absolutely. Mine is homesick today, unfortunately. So.
Did you go and do it? Are you
not yet? I'll have to go in a moment. I'm just going to keep my ear out. He just needs help with something.
All right. Well, what we were doing yesterday was going through the notes that we had at the bottom, and then making sure that we had filled.
Yes, that they were put in there. Yes.
Yeah. And actually, I'm going to go back down to these and just delete the ones that we did.
Yeah, we'll delete the ones we've done. Again, this is just a purpose of outlining, just making sure. Oh, that would be good to put in there, rather than going back and doing this in a script and going, oh, that has ripple effects that I haven't thought about. If it's in this document as you're creating it, you are just putting the foundations of everything that's going to go into your screen,
right?
So that you are able to track various threads, and ultimately that's it. Setting things up, particularly in Act 1, that will need to get paid off at some other point in the movie. So make sure that they're there.
Yes. So I'm just going to go. We've talked about this, but we haven't really implemented it yet. But we do have a part in the prologue. We do feel that it's exhausting. We do have the scene in the bookshop now. Yeah. We do have the Susie Homemaker part.
Yes.
Hank.
This is just more of a note, kind of for later on. Maybe this goes into the scratch.
I'm going to copy this into the scratch.
Hank and Sam are the first people ever that she, being Charlize, can be her true, authentic self with. That is demon and empathetic good person. She's gruff and has feelings. She's complicated, and she's never felt comfortable with those complications. Yes, that goes in the scratch.
For anyone who's just joining us and haven't watched the last 39 episodes, we tend to work with both a scratch document that just has a collection of ideas that we just write in order in case we ever decide we want to go back. And then we also outline in our actual screenwriting format, which allows us to then jump into the scripting and just use the outline.
It makes it much quicker, and it's already formatted. Again, partly the reason we do this is actually to save a little bit of time. When you write an outline in like a Word document or a Pages document or a note, wherever you do those documents, whenever you import them into Fade In, and I'm sure it's the same in Final Draft, it does it as what's called unformatted text. It doesn't know what that text is meant to be. Whereas in these bits of software, what's so great about screenwriting software is it ascribes certain almost like keywords, but formatting really to action lines, dialogue lines, parentheticals, character names, etc. So when you do it in the script format from the start, it's already there, and it helps you not having to go through and reassign all that unformatted text into the correct format.
So I think the last thing we were writing was Hank going back to his apartment, and he's alone.
Yeah.
And they what we were discussing was then the next cut. We then go to Sam. I believe from let's see, where the heck were we? This is all the church and
the church. Yes,
and I believe we said we already did the thing of knowing and liking Sam.
We've done that.
Already set that up. So with Hank, He puts the duffel in the trunk. He gets in. He peels out. Then we go straight to Charlize waking up on her bathroom floor.
Yes.
Right?
Great.
So at this point, we're back into Act 2. I think we've done everything.
I think we have to. I think we can keep progressing now. I
think
feel
we can keep pushing forward.
I feel good that we kind of paused for a second and just kind of connected with the character stuff. For us to do.
So in Act 2, the next beat. So Sam, the FBI guy, shows up. We're going to add in this other.
Okay, so let's just read this just for a second, just so I can reacquaint myself with it. So, exterior Sam's apartment building, morning. Police tape, cops everywhere. FBI guy shows up. One of the cops located a car they think might be involved. They're running a trace. Why do you think it might be involved? They open the trunk and it's Charlize's shit. So other kinds of stuff in there. Cool.
Right.
Exterior biker bar day. Hank and the gang pull up. They get out of the car, head to the entrance. Sam is going to puke and runs inside. She's going to puke because she's going through withdrawal. Can we just put that as a parenthetical just to remind me?
Yeah. We should also look into just I'm not sure because I've actually never done heroin or any drug that involves that kind of intense high. If she's been getting sober and this is the thing that pushes her back to the needle, then would she be going through withdrawal?
It's a great question. I don't know. We should probably do some research on that. So she was getting sober. She was doing really well. Then she relapsed.
She relapsed because her family dies.
And then she has been trying to resist it again. Yes, maybe it's not quite the same. Maybe it's not right.
I don't know that the puking. I mean, the puking can work. I mean, first of all, she doesn't need to puke. It doesn't actually add anything to the story.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. Only if she is going through
withdrawals.
Which is, I mean, I find that concept to be interesting. And what we've talked about briefly in the past, and I still really like this, is this almost like this weird metaphor of like her demonness. Fighting that off is the same as her kind of fighting off this craving,
Yeah, I guess the question is, and I just, whenever dealing with these kinds of sensitive topics, I want to be authentic about it, and not just do cliches.
I agree.
Who do drugs.
Yeah.
I don't know that one day after shooting up, you would all of a sudden be puking.
Yeah, it's generally when you've been. My idea, isn't it, is that you've been taking something for a long time, and then
and then you're off for a little. There's different stages of withdrawal, right? It doesn't just happen like right away.
Yeah, I mean, and then the long term, characteristics of withdrawal, depending on what drug is being discontinued, may includes vomiting, depression, etc. I have to go. I'm going to be right back.
That's all right. I'm being left by my writing partner now, so I am live at the moment, and I'm just looking at this script and what we were talking about just a moment ago. Is this idea of withdrawals. And I wonder if, and I'll talk about this with Jake in just a moment, but I just wonder if there's another way for us to have her fighting these demons of addiction, which I do like, but having her fighting them while she's still trying to get better. I think there's a contradiction going on that needs to be resolved in the setup. Part of the reason that we had her going to an NA meeting was because we wanted to show that she's trying to get better. And so if she's already fighting back the demon of the addiction, then isn't she already succeeding? I'm not really sure. He's back now, and I'm back now.
What were you saying?
The question that I was just asking the audience, which is, I think there's a bit of a contradiction in what we're trying to do. And I like what you were saying about the addiction aspect of fighting back one's demons. But the audience has already heard me say this. If she's already going to NA meetings and she's already getting sober and she's already fighting those demons back successfully, at least for the most, or semi-successfully, then is that actually something that she's dealing with right now? Or can we show it that it's more of a challenge? Now, the reason that we did the NA meeting really was because we wanted to like her. We wanted to see that she wanted to get better. And there was at one point, she went to a counselor. I think she might still go to her counselor. And that was her real attempt at getting better. And I feel like if we got rid of the counselor is an opportunity for us to understand that it's not that she's necessarily stopped using, but that she is trying to. I don't 100% know how to do this authentic, and I think that's the real issue. It's like, either it feels, and this is just from my own experiences, that I have known addicts in my life.
Yes, same.
And it feels like it's kind of an all or nothing thing. I haven't. There's like,
but it was really interesting. I recently watched the interview with Matthew Perry from Friends, who for years and very publicly had big addiction issues, both with drink and with prescription drugs. And you got the sense with him that while he was trying to get better, he still kept lapsing into his addiction. Right. So you can be fighting it, going into rehabs and all different, and attending NA meetings and not winning with your addiction. Right. So I find that to be interesting, because I've seen a lot of times, I feel like it's the standard thing of, hi, I'm an alcoholic, I've been sober for 20 years. But what's interesting, again, that, I know an alcoholic who has been sober for 50 years and still calls himself an alcoholic. It's what you do at AA meetings. You acknowledge the fact that you are an addict.
Well, and that's why most of the addicts that I know, or the people who have had addiction issues that I know, who are sober now, it is really an all or nothing thing. It's like, I don't touch.
Yes, no, totally. But there are also examples, and I think what I like about it is the complexity of it, and that it's not just a thing with Sam.
So how do we keep her likable?
Yeah,
not show her as a junkie.
Yeah,
but show her as someone who hasn't won the fight.
Yeah. Well, can you do that? Can you do that with the length of time that she's been sober for when we meet her in her NA meeting? Is there something about that? Like, I haven't had a drink in 3 weeks, not drink, but, I haven't used in 3 weeks, and she can say, before that, it was only 2. Before that, I went 3 months and I was doing great. But I kind of feel like every time I'm doing well, something happens and it drags me back in again. But
I like this idea of withdrawals, though.
I do.
Being like a physical manifestation of that. But I will also say, and this is something also to consider, and we might be going too deep into her addiction, and that could be an issue. She has to be turning into the Antichrist. Like, her fighting heroin is really like not the point of her character at the moment.
Can she be puking here?
Like,
she's the Antichrist.
Like, she literally is transforming on a daily basis.
Yeah, totally.
Into the fucking Antichrist.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this could be part of that.
You know what? It absolutely can be. Absolutely can be. It's a really good observation that actually.
Like
I don't feel really good. I need to stop right now.
What? Yeah.
I don't feel good. I need to stop right now.
And when she throws up, it can be like maybe interesting to go into the bathroom. I know it's kind of gross, but like, I see her throw up like black.
That's really interesting.
Like, what the hell is that?
And just be fucking horrified. What is
it's
going on?
Like almost like tar, like black.
Yeah. Now
tar.
she should think that she's going through some kind of drug-related thing.
Right, but that's not what it is.
But
exactly.
Great. I like that. That's really great. That's really cool.
So
thick black goo
runs inside. So then it would be
nice and awesome.
Interior biker bar.
Yeah.
And I think we'd have just a quick beat of her going, bathroom, to the bartender.
Right.
Bathroom. Interior biker bar bathroom. Day. And then that would be like in the stall. Sam throws up.
Black goo.
It's
the black goo from Prometheus.
What the fuck? And maybe she comes out and sits down at the bar and is like, what the fuck kind of withdrawals am I going through?
Right.
Totally. Maybe there is like, I don't get it. Like, I shouldn't, like, this shouldn't be happening.
Yes.
And they're like, it's part of the transformation.
Part of the transformation, yeah.
You're literally becoming a demon from the inside out.
Yeah, great.
That's
cool. That's so cool.
So let's just say Hank and Charlize are at the bar.
Yes.
And I think we can get a nice character scene with that, which is nice.
Absolutely.
Then Sam returns. Sam returns. What the hell kind of withdrawal?
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
They explain, or Charlize explains.
Yes.
That she's transforming
into the
demon from the inside out.
Yeah.
But not just any demon. And we've also said the Antichrist.
Yeah. It's fine. Yeah.
But we'll just to remind us.
Great.
Okay, not just any demon. Okay, so now a fight's gonna break out.
Yes.
Charlize lets out her demonic anger fully. Now, does she transform here? We've now gone in the direction as of yesterday.
Yes, as of yesterday.
Literally as of yesterday, are demons now physically transformed?
I guess she physically she's more like the Hulk now in that sense.
Yes.
I don't think she should.
So she wouldn't have super strength.
She wouldn't have super strength. She can still be a badass in the way that Charlize Theron is a badass.
Yeah, no. Yeah, definitely. And Hank is still there to help, but
remember this, this was something, wasn't it? It's her flaw.
Yes.
It's
the authentic nature of who she is.
But it's going to get them into trouble because it's going to lead antagonists onto our path.
Right. So if she, and I guess this is maybe one of the questions, like, it's interesting. If she transforms into a demon,
I hear it. I know we're going with this.
Is that a way that the other demons can find her?
Oh, interesting. Like
demonic energy attracts demonic energy. So, for example,
where I was going to go with it was turning into the Incredible Hulk in a bar is going to make someone want to film you in the bar.
Well, that could be too. And then Zod sees it on TV. Sure.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that from a really, but either way does the same thing. It's her flaw gets them trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They fuck up because she.
People would be like, "What the hell was this?" And it actually would be funny on TV if it was like, one of the best cosplay.
Something
ever,
like that. Yeah.
But there also is something about when she turns into the Antichrist, when the moment happens where Sam starts to become a demon, Charlize feels it. Right?
Yes, it's true. Well, I put that down to the fact that It's the Antichrist more than
I
anything.
know. I'm just trying to weave in and make consistent, maybe make consistent this idea of this demon being able to track. We don't really understand how Zod finds her. We don't go there with Zod. We just go, and he finds her. But like, if in the same way that Hank can track demonic energy, if demons can Highlander style feel demonic energy, but even from distances, but it doesn't mean that I can, it's not like a GPS that I can just pinpoint you and know where you are in like 2 seconds, but I can feel it pulling from that direction. And so we're gonna go in that direction. I would believe that eventually Zod could track her to this biker bar. And while the FBI is tracing her through that, Zod is tracing them through this, which is why they end up showing up a little bit later in her hometown.
Right. Yeah.
Possibility.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Or same thing, he sees it on the fucking news and they show up at the biker bar. And again, that's how they're tracing her. And they're one step behind because
they're one step behind. Yeah, totally.
Either way works. But I do think her transforming then is good.
Fine. Yeah, okay, fine.
And what's also interesting about it, we got to go back for a second. We got to go back again. Why? Because when she fights Zod in the apartments and the other demons too, they're all going to transform into demons.
Okay, sure.
And Hank is going to fully witness her demon self.
Yes.
Hank isn't going to know.
I mean, Hank knows that she's a demon already.
How does he know? Because of his Geiger counter thing, right? His Ghostbuster demon energy.
They're already about. Right. They've already got guns aimed at each other.
So, all right, I don't need to go back and write it in. We
know
that when Charlize, Zod, and the others are fighting, they're all going to fight as demons.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No retreat, only forwards, Ben.
So, okay. So her flaw causes them trouble. She transforms into a demon, into her demon form.
Yeah.
This is the first time Sam's seeing it, though. She's not conscious, right? Isn't she knocked unconscious in the other one?
Yeah. Okay, great. And this should be freaky as all hell. Literally. Don't bullet point these because this is.
Gotcha.
You might think these are bullets, not actually. Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
So yeah, really.
Sure.
Above it, it's a fight breaks out, and it should be something like someone says something offhanded to Charlize at the bar, and she's just like, and Hank's like, just let it be, whatever. These guys are just assholes, but Charlize can't let it go, and it becomes a full thing, something like that.
Yeah, some asshole.
Yeah.
Fucks with Sam.
Yeah.
Charlize. I mean, and it can be the kind of thing where Hank tries to defend her, the guy gets in Hank's face, then Charlize gets in front of Hank.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like, you're going to let your girl fight and whatever, and Charlize, it's like...
Oh, okay.
It's like there's like an order almost. Hank tries to defend.
Yeah, and it's not like she just goes, I'm going to Hulk out to bust your ass. Like,
the guy's
someone goes for her and fucking hits her. Whatever it is, and she's just like, she loses control.
Charlize,
it's not her being stupid. It's not her doing something. It's something.
No, but I think it is. You're right. It's like the flaw. It is her flaw that she's human, whether she wants to be or not.
Yes, but the first part of it, and I think it's just walking that line between going, was it accidental or was it a choice? At what point was it a choice, and at what point is it out of her control? You know, if it could be her choice to keep the argument going for a minute because she won't let it go.
Yeah, she steps in because her natural state is aggression.
Yes. Right.
You know?
Yes.
She can't help herself but be aggressive. That's her flaw.
Her natural state is aggression. I like that. Yes.
A fight breaks out. Charlize, right. And then I would say someone gets it on. Someone records it with their phone. It ends up on YouTube. And we don't need to see that at the moment. It live streams just like we're live streaming right now. Actually, it'd probably be like a live TikTok or something like that.
Right? Yes, totally. Yeah, completely.
Which is actually really funny that it's coming from like a biker on TikTok.
Yeah, totally. For sure.
Stream on a biker's TikTok.
Yeah, totally.
And then, like, you know, the question, I guess, they're gonna this scene, they tear up the place and get the hell out.
Yes,
right?
totally. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, but the next scene,
Mm-hmm.
we probably are we're probably going to Zod.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my question. Zod, we watched go back into the mirror. So in theory, he just went back into the other realm, right?
Yeah.
When he comes back out into our world, where does he come and why? And I know he's going to see the video, which is going to...
Yes. Okay, so he needs to be in our world to see this video.
I would assume so.
Yes, I mean, I doubt they use TikTok in hell.
We're not going to cut
maybe
to...
they do.
We're not going to cut to hell and they're all on their cell phones watching
exactly
TikTok.
Right, yes. Yeah.
That's a totally
if there is
different
a hell,
movie.
they are all on TikTok.
If there is a hell, they're all on TikTok. I love it. Yes, that's right.
So
TikTok in hell.
What was that?
I said TikTok in hell.
TikTok in hell. That's the next script.
Yes.
Here's the pitch. Get this. It's TikTok, but it's in hell.
Right.
Yeah.
These are
good questions. Do they have to go into the mirror in the first part?
I mean, I like them escaping the police that way. I just think it's cool. And I don't want the police to see them.
No, of course.
Right? And the police are already there.
Well, what happened? They were in a car chase and they went back for the boyfriend. That's right. Then they leave. What was the car chase?
Who are you asking? What are you asking?
Well, I was just trying to remember the series of events. I like that, and also it's important story-wise for them to see what's happening here, for them to be able to put the pieces together.
Right. I mean, I guess, but it's both, right? Like, part of me just goes, here's just an interesting thing, and it goes to something we were talking about earlier today in our other script, which is, do we have to fucking explain this? I don't think we do. Can't we just see them come out of a mirror behind the bar?
Someone's going to ask us at a convention one time. So, do they have TikTok in hell?
No, I mean, I'm just like, seriously, like, she just turned into a demon here. Like, Zod is the ultimate fucking badass merc demon. Like, can't we have them show up at the biker bar and not...
Yes, we can.
No,
we can.
Why?
We absolutely can.
I mean,
we absolutely can. I think it's probably okay.
Like, because I feel like the idea that they can kind of almost, it's not really teleportation, but that they can go anywhere through mirrors is cool. And I don't want to lose that idea, especially because I love that we're going to do it in this police station. And there's actually a reason for it. And I was thinking about this. We didn't write it down, but I've been thinking about, why does Zod get captured by the police? He's a fucking demon. Like, he's not going to just... The police can't beat him. But this is what I was realizing. We were talking about what is the thing that Zod is so smart and what makes him smart. Well, he purposefully gets himself captured so that he basically can interrogate them while they think they're interrogating him. What he wants to find out is who is...
Can he do something? I was seeing something as you were pitching that. I was seeing this. The police officer comes in, sits down, FBI agent comes in, sits down, and it's the classic interrogation scene. And he's like, so, and he looks up, and Zod's eyes just gone fucking black. And the guy just fucking like hypnotizes out, and Zod just fucking asks him a bunch of questions.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I was thinking less demonic in the pitch that I was doing was more that he knows he wants to find if this is where Charlize was, then and the police were there and this is where Charlize was, he wants to know what they know. And so he goes in, and while they're interrogating him, he's finding out information from them. And then once he has all the information,
if there's a way to be able to do it whereby I can get the actual information and it not be stupid police officer for giving that information, then yes. And if not, we can always go, black-eyed demon, now tell me your darkest secrets.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, because here's what he's going to learn based on what we've talked about. He's going to learn that Charlize is a member of this community and lives with her boyfriend.
Sure.
And then he's going to decide to then go and kidnap them.
Yes.
That's the order of Zod's events.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
So the police station is how he finds out about the boyfriend.
Absolutely. And I think
that's all that is.
Makes your villains smart. And that's what we want. We want to go, oh, you clever bastard. And I love the idea that he just walks through.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, totally. So they tear up the place and get the hell out. What is the what do we think the next scene is, though? I don't want to jump straight into Zod then if he's just going to show up here, if he's not watching the TikTok, which I don't feel like.
No, I don't think we need to. Well, can they tear the place up and get the hell out? Yes. That's the moment. Then is it do I need to be with Sam and that lot again? I mean,
do we have more road tripping? I don't know.
I don't know how much more we need.
That's the thing. It's like, what is the next character thing that we need, and what is the next plot thing that we need? The next character thing that we need is that Sam is getting sicker. She's turning more and more into the demon, and at some point, if they don't fix her, they're going to have to kill her. Right?
Is there something that they need to do? Well, what's the next major plot? Where we're heading towards is Charlize's town, because she needs to go to the bookshop to go and get the thing that she
needs. She's got an ancient scroll that might have the solution for
for curing the Antichrist.
For curing the Antichrist. Exactly. You splash her with holy water.
Right. I think of that. So that's where we're. What did we decide that the kind of quote unquote midpoint of the film was?
We have it here. Hold on.
Let's have a little look in our scratch, because that's again. This is just where this is the moment that we're heading to. And again, this is why you start big and then go smaller.
Right.
So you go. Here's the next major moment that we're heading towards. You can. I mean, literally earlier on today on our other outline for other projects, like, I know this is the next thing that we're going to. How do we get from there to there?
Right. It's interesting. So in our scratch, and I'm just looking at it here, we have a lot of like character stuff, which is really good.
Yeah.
But
I think it's more to the bottom stuff, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. Our midpoint, our structure, we started to go into this outline based on a previous structure, and then we've changed things during the outline.
Yeah.
And so our midpoint before had to do with Celestials, which is not anything.
No, totally. So is it more, again, kind of coming back to this concept of we're not running anymore. We've got the solution.
It was the bookstore is the midpoint.
The bookstore is the midpoint. That's where we're going to. I just don't feel that we've currently got enough stuff.
Well, think about what's happened in 2.1 so far.
Yes,
let's track it, right? The end act 1, right?
Yeah.
So
they've gotten away.
We get a car chase is the first part of 2.1.
Yes.
Right? They're car chasing, they get away, they're telling Sam what's going on. They're all going to work together. Holy shit.
They dump the car. They swap the car out.
FBI gets involved, and we end up in a biker bar whereby we get more character stuff, and they fuck up. And honestly, that is enough for a 2.1. The next
is that half an hour? Is that 25 minutes to half an hour of stuff?
Well, no, because the midpoint is a huge 5 to 7 page sequence. When we get to I mean, we're not talking about the library doesn't take up half a page, or I mean, the bookshop doesn't take half a
No, of
page.
course. Yeah,
Is the bridge between 2.1 and 2.2. So it doesn't 2.1 wouldn't be 30 pages long.
right.
I wonder though, the only thing I feel like I'm missing in this, to be honest, is I feel like I am missing Zod and gang in this part of the movie.
Yeah, and I'm missing FBI being on trail.
Well, it's okay because they're not the major issue here. They're gonna have, I mean, think about in the Terminator, for example. Like they have 3 major scenes, the FBI and the police. They show up at the crime scene, trace the car. They end up at the library, shootout. They capture Zod and they give up the intel by accident, and then Zod goes and gets the husband and the kid. I mean, that's their like what the FBI basically ends up doing in this movie, how they end up potentially making it into Act 3, I don't even know. I'm not sure.
So, remind me, at what point is Zod getting captured by the FBI?
After it's in 2.2.
It's in 2.2.
Correct.
And he's going.
It's after they show up at the end of the bookstore shootout.
Right. I liked what you were pitching earlier, but now in my mind, I'm slightly confused. So why exactly is Zod allowing himself? I understand he wants to know what the FBI know, but what does the FBI know at that point? Where Charlize's town is? He already knows. We've already had.
It's not about where Charlize's town is. It's who is she? I mean, but
Zod knows who she is at this point.
Does she? He knows what her name is that she's been going by and where she lives and who.
But why does he need that in 2.2? He doesn't need to know where she is because he already. I mean, ultimately, he doesn't.
They've just escaped. They're gone.
Yes. So, what does he need from the FBI that is going to help him? Her name.
The thing that she can that he could potentially. Well, number one, he doesn't know what he doesn't know. He doesn't know what they know. Right. And number 2, what he finds out from them is that the girl who is Charlize, but has been living in this town, has a boyfriend and a kid who lives over there. And Zod then goes, I can use that against
It's that information.
I don't know. As Zod, this I'm going to use the human police and the human FBI to give me any intel that they may have about Charlize. If she's been living here as a human for 100 years, I don't know a lot, and I don't know what I don't know. And if I'm going to track her, I'm probably not going to get lucky again, like the biker bar.
I think that was a fluke.
So if I'm not going to get lucky, how am I going to track this person? Well, they traced her based on her car. They found the bookstore. Let's see what they know. What's interesting is it feels like he's been arrested, and then we realize actually he just got the information that he wanted, because what do demons do?
Which feels like good 2.2 stuff.
Totally.
That's, complications, even more complications. The bad guys are
escalation of stakes.
Yeah.
Zod, the interrogation into the kidnapping of the boyfriend and the kid are all 2.2 stuff. While that's happening still in her town, we then need to have Charlize, Sam, and Hank on their way to get Sam cured, but Sam is becoming the problem at this point for them. Their obstacle is time.
Yes.
Then, at the darkest moment, at the end of 2.2, somehow, and I don't know how yet, so don't ask me, somehow Zod is going to locate Charlize, but now having the boyfriend and the kid as a trading card.
Right.
Give me her and I'll give you them. Otherwise, I'm going to kill them. You care about them. You're an idiot. You started to develop feelings over 100 years ago. And I knew it and we should have killed you, but I didn't. So here we are right now. You want your fucking human, pathetic life. Here you go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't have the answer to the question of how he
finds
then, but we'll come up with that. It's just a matter of that's I think the order of things that are getting harder and harder and harder. Sam is getting closer and closer to them needing to kill her. And there can be a scene where Hank and Charlize have to literally have that conversation again, because they've already kind of talked about it, but this time it's a serious one.
Yeah.
There also should be a scene in 2.2, another kind of on the road scene, and it's the one that you were talking about with the drinking, and it should be the one where Sam and Charlize bond a little bit more.
I think that should come here. I think that should be 2.1. This one thing, I just don't feel we have enough scenes at the moment in 2.1. So actually, as you just pitched that thing, I think that should be hit. They stop at a motel for a night.
But maybe, I don't know. I mean, look,
if it's going to happen, if there's going to be a slow, it's going to be a character scene. I don't think
you can have character scenes in 2.2.
You can,
I
but
mean,
I just think at that
look
point,
at
the
Terminator
should be ramping up. It should be higher. I think that is a slight...
I mean, the sex scene happens in 2.2 in the Terminator.
Sure, totally. Yeah, no, I hear that.
There's no reason you can't have a deep character moment in that act.
Sure.
I actually think we have a lot of pages here. I think you're underestimating the number of pages that are actually in these scenes. Right now.
I can't scroll on your screen. But we should wrap up now anyway because we're at an hour.
Yeah.
But let's have a little look tomorrow. But we are heading towards the midpoint, which is the bookstore. I'll just voice my concern that perhaps I'm feeling that there's not enough substance.
I mean, we probably are like, let's see, we've got
2 or 3 pages of a card
at least. Then a page there. They get into the car. We've got at least 3-4 pages there. That's going to be probably about 8-9 pages in here. Then maybe we're 10 pages actually. This is a really big long scene.
Sure.
Then we've got back at the apartment with the FBI guy, probably a 2-page scene. We're like 12 to 13 pages in. All the biker bar stuff is, especially if this is a nice big character scene,
4 pages.
Got at least 5-6 pages between both the character moments and the fight itself.
Yeah.
So we're probably 20.
Well, that's 17 or 18 pages at that moment.
Yeah.
It just feels a smidge light. And I just wonder if there's just
because don't we have to be at the bookstore for a beat before we get into?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I agree. We do. Right? Yeah. I mean, here would be my pitch for it: motel room night, 3 or 4 page scene, catching up with the demons, 2 pages. Next moment, them arriving in Charlize's town. That just kind of just feels like that's. But from a story perspective, I go, I get a bit more. I like the scene that we were talking about with Hank and Sam.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put that in here. So it's exterior motel. I think it does work. But I'm not 100% sure on actual, especially if we're looking at this being a 90-page script.
Sure.
I don't know that we have a full 30 to even do in this section.
Right.
And have a nice long act 1 and we have a prologue. So I'm not sure. It's not that I like these scenes. I just don't know exactly where they go. The motel could also happen after they leave the bookstore is all I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, I mean it's overnight stay. Hank drinking, something like that. And then yes, we need to have interior biker bar, Zod and gang, some sort of scene there.
Right.
That's where we're headed there.
Right. Awesome.
All right.
Groovy. Well, good stuff, dude.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for everyone.
Making it through slowly but surely.
We are. Yeah. Why is it? My title is "What's Taking So Long?" Well, I'll tell you what's taking so long. Cracking a fucking story. That's what's taking so long.
All right, dude.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.